everybody. This is Roy Evans with the Black College Sports Network, and I am here with Miss Sika Rose Green, the creator of the FAMU 10 for 10 Challenge. Ms. Green, how are you doing tonight?
I am wonderful. How are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm great. And, we've been on Facebook the past few weeks, and, everybody was doing these challenges. I think a lot of these things started when folks were doing the ALS challenge. And what ended up happening was, of course, everyone knows I am an alum of Florida A&M University. All of a sudden, we started seeing this FAMU 10 for 10 and 10 for 10. I'm like, what's this? Why are y'all asking me for stuff? Who started this? Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about what the FAMU 10 for 10 challenge is and why you started it?
Well, the FAMU 10 for 10 challenge is probably one of the simplest ways to engage your alumni into giving back. And basically, I gave $10, and I challenged 10 of my friends who were also alums to give $10 within 24 hours, and for them to challenge 10 of their friends to give $10 within 24 hours. And before we knew it, it had just absolutely taken off. And in 48 hours, we had raised $10,000 that actually had already been donated to the university. So I was sitting at work and I thought to myself, there has to be a way that we can take advantage of all these challenges that are going on social media. You have the ALS challenge, of course, the pretty girl challenge and the handsome man challenge. There were all kind of challenges going on, and I thought there has to be a way we can take advantage of this and, as they say, use our powers for good. And so I made a video and called out 10 people, showed my check for $10, and I guess the rest, they say, is recent history.
Yeah, definitely. Now, from what I've understood is that just as of today, and of course we're pre-recording this, so the day that we show this, hopefully it'll be even greater. But apparently you guys went over $100,000 for the challenge so far.
We did. So right now we are more than $100,000, which was actually our goal to hit by FAMU's homecoming, which is October 31st through November 2nd, and we have hit it, and we aren't even in October yet. Wow. So we are just really excited. I can't even begin to tell you how positively overwhelmed I am at the response. And what it tells me is that people want to give. I think they just can't necessarily give all those large amounts, and they want to know that the small amount makes a difference. And we learned from President Obama that 5 here, 10 here, 20 here, and you get a lot of people to do that, you raise a lot of money. And in this case, that is what this campaign's message is. A little bit from a lot of people makes a huge difference.
Wow, that's great. And, of course, it's definitely something that anyone at any other HBCU can use and that they can push out. We're going to get to that a little bit later. Now, are you an alumnus, or are you just – well, we know you're an alumnus, but are you involved with the university? I mean, you're not with the Alumni Association. You're just a regular alum.
I am not employed by the university. I've been telling people I do have a day job that I work, and I am a communications and public relations professional by trade, and so I've been doing that for 22 years. And so using social media is definitely one of the ways that technology has taken over. And so I think it was just a matter of figuring out how to harness it to work on behalf of the university and help raise money. I was very active at the university when I was there, so my orange and green roots run very deeply. My father and aunts, my mother, my husband, sister, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and of course my lifelong friends that I met while I was at Florida A&M, and I was a cheerleader while I was there, and queen of the orange and green. So loving FAMU is just what I do. It's just what I do. And understanding that HBCUs are in dire straits, all of them, all of us. And we have to think of innovative ways to engage our alumni, because we just should not always depend on other funding sources to help keep our universities up and running. So this is just a great way to do that. And as they say in church, the twos and fews have come together, and now we're over $100,000.
Oh, wow. Well, that is great. And definitely, as you said, we've got some things that we can make happen. And I definitely first want to congratulate you on the success of your campaign. And hopefully we can take this and move it across the HBCU nation and let folks go out and support their universities, or even just support a university if it's not their own, to go out, or if they didn't attend an HBCU but they'd like to be a part of this. Is there anything that you want to tell us about your challenge? Do you still want people to support? If they can, where do they go? How do they do that?
Well, yes, the challenge is actually still going, and it's moving strong, and we are so excited about where the campaign will move forward. So one of the things that I'm hoping is that the university will adopt it as a giving opportunity, as an official giving campaign. Well, technically it is an official giving campaign, but I'm hoping that they will adopt it as the annual giving campaign, so that it becomes a staple at the university and it becomes branded, and people understand that this is our opportunity to set up our perpetual giving for the year. But it is something that many institutions can adopt. And so, you post the video and you use the challenge. But I have to say that because I am a PR professional, I think that there were some secrets and some trades that I probably was able to institute once we got up and moving to make it really take off. And so this thing now has phases. And we are, now that we're over $100,000, we are going to move into what we call phase 3 of the program. We're going to get past the president's inauguration. We're hoping to raise $250,000 by October 3rd when she'll be inaugurated, and we are moving steadily toward $1 million by May of next year.
Oh, wow, great. You got to have those lofty goals, and you go out there and you reach for it. Like someone once said, always shoot for the stars, or shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you're still amongst the stars. Now, we would be remiss. I heard you say you were a cheerleader while you were at Florida A&M. Are you involved? Give us some shout-outs. You know how we do this. You were all family. So give us some shout-outs to your organization, some of the things that you do, and some of the people that you know. Who do you got you want to shout out?
Well, I'll tell you, before I do that, for anyone who's interested in learning more about the campaign, we do have a Facebook fan page, and that address is facebook.com/FAMU 10for10 Challenge Official. 10 Challenge Official. And so as a cheerleader, of course, that means you have perpetual school spirit. And so I have to give a shout out to all of the people that were cheerleaders from 1986 to 1990. Definitely a big shout out. Rah-rah five to them. Have to give a shout out to my husband, who's also the FAMU golf coach and the director of student activities, Marvin Green Jr. Love you, baby. Have to give a shout out to my lovely Saras of the Beta Alpha chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I was fortunate to pledge that while I was on campus. I also have to give a shout out to the Upsilon Psi chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I would be remiss if I didn't do that. And finally, I have to give a shout out to the Beta Nu chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. And that is because I was Miss Black and Gold for 1 year, and they're still lifelong friends. I tell you, it is, the Divine Nine is something very special, and we all have very special bonds there. I was fortunate to meet so many people, and I think lastly, I have to do a shout out for everybody who has not taken the challenge. You have to take the challenge. We like to say that we're asking you to give up one lunch a month. That's all we're asking you to give up. One lunch a month, $10 a month, make it perpetual, do it every month. That's $120 times 40,000, 50,000 graduates. We could have almost $8 million a year coming into our university. And if we can do it, every other HBCU can do it as well.
All right. Well, again, you guys, we're talking with Miss Sika Rose Green, the creator of the FAMU 10 for 10. Sika, thank you for your time. Tell my boy Marvin I said what's happening. I'm going to make sure I send some shout-outs. You mentioned those fellas over at Beta Nu. I know Reggie Mitchell is a real good friend of mine, so we're going to be getting that in. And I would be remiss without, since you're on the air, of course, and shouting out my bros from the Hard Alpha Eta chapter of Phi Beta Sigma, who are in the building as well. But thank you again for your time. The Brothers of the Dove.
I can't leave them out. Can't leave them out. Absolutely. And while we're at it, let's just give a shout-out to the Zetas, the lovely women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Let's give a shout out to the Newts, the Alpha Zeke chapter of
Yep.
Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Did I miss it? Oh, and the lovely ladies of the Poodle of Sigma Gamma Rho.
Yep. All right.
Sorority Incorporated. And I think now, when you and I were there were no iotas, but now we have iotas on our
Okay, they do.
So
Yeah,
let's
no,
give
they were
a
not.
shout out, yeah, to the brothers
Definitely.
of the brown and gold, the
All right.
iotas. And listen, and all of you guys, if you haven't taken the challenge, we need you to get in there and take the challenge. Challenge all your line brothers and your line sisters to do it as well.
We will definitely do that. And actually, Ms. Green, you know what? We are definitely going to be getting back in contact with you because I think some of the ideas that you're using, and, you know, this is your profession, we have the tools to help make our HBCUs better. And all we have to do is engage those of us who attended these HBCUs with these kinds of ideas to push out there. So once more, thank you again to Ms. Sika Rose Green. You have a great night. And is there anything you'd like to say about football season?
Well, let me tell you, the Rattlers are here. Coach Earl Holmes is going to take us to the top. We believe it. We can achieve it. And as always, you have to remember that the Rattlers will strike and strike and strike again.
And on that note, you can't say no more. We'll be back with more right here on the Black College Sports Network.